My name is Aisha Khan. And the night my own brother called me a financial idiot at his wedding was the night he unknowingly insulted the one person who controlled his company's board. Weddings are supposed to be joyful, loud, messy in a good way. But this one felt different, polished, perfect, carefully curated. Like everything about it was designed to impress. Crystal lights hung from the ceiling. Soft music floated through the hall. Guests dressed in designer outfits moved around, smiling, laughing, networking. Because this wasn't just a wedding. It was a statement. My brother, Hassan Khan, had always been like that. Everything had to look successful. Even if it wasn't. I arrived quietly. No grand entrance. No announcement. Just walked in, found a seat near the back, and observed. Like I always did. Because when you stay quiet, you hear everything. You invited her? Someone whispered behind me. I think Mom insisted. Another voice replied. She's still doing nothing? A small laugh followed. I didn't turn around. Didn't react. Because I was used to it. To them. I was the sibling who never made it. The one who stayed out of the spotlight. The one who didn't talk about work. Which in their world meant I didn't have one worth mentioning. My mother spotted me first. Her expression changed for a second. Surprise. Then something else. Concern. She walked over quickly. You came, she said. Not warmly. Just acknowledging. Of course, I replied. It's Hassan's day. She hesitated. Then leaned closer. Try not to say anything unnecessary, she added quietly. I almost smiled. Unnecessary. That's what truth sounds like. To people who aren't ready for it. I'll be fine, I said. She nodded, but didn't look convinced. Across the hall, my brother stood on stage. Laughing. Confident. Surrounded by friends, business partners, people who admired him. Or at least, admired what he showed them. He hadn't seen me yet. And I wasn't in a hurry to change that. Because tonight wasn't about me. Or at least, that's what I thought. The speeches started. Friends first. Then extended family. Stories. Jokes. Carefully selected memories that made everything sound perfect. Then, Hassan took the mic. The room quieted. Because he knew how to command attention. Always had. He thanked everyone. Spoke about success. About building something from nothing. About earning everything the hard way. I listened. Calm. Because I knew which parts were true. And which parts were convenient. Then he laughed. A light, casual laugh. And of course, he said. I couldn't have done it without my family. Applause. Smiles. He gestured toward our parents. They always believed in me, he added. My father nodded proudly. My mother smiled. Then, Hassan's eyes moved across the room. Scanning. Until they landed on me. There was a brief pause. Barely noticeable to anyone else. But I saw it. Recognition. Then something else. Opportunity. And then there's my sister, he said. The tone changed. Subtle, but clear. Some people turned. Looking for who he meant. I stayed still. Calm. Because I already knew where this was going. Aisha, he continued. The only person I know who can turn a simple budget into a financial disaster. Laughter. Light at first. Then louder. Encouraged. Because people follow the tone they're given. He smiled. Playing it off as humor. But we love her, he added quickly. More laughter. Easier now. Because it had been framed as a joke. A harmless one. To them. My mother's smile faded slightly. My father looked uncomfortable. But no one stopped it. No one ever does. Because embarrassment is entertaining when it's not yours. Hassan continued. And honestly, he said, if there's one thing I've learned, it's never take financial advice from someone who doesn't understand money. More laughter. Louder this time. Because now, it felt bold, confident, safe. I sat there. Still. Composed. Unbothered. At least on the surface. Because moments like this aren't new to me. They just look different depending on the room. My cousin leaned toward someone near him. I told you, he whispered loudly enough. She never figured anything out. I heard that too. Of course I did. But I didn't react. Because reacting would make it about emotion. And this wasn't about emotion. It was about timing. Hassan raised his glass. To success, he said. To building something real. The crowd echoed him. To success. Glasses clinked. Music started again. The moment passed. Just like that. To them. It was nothing. A joke. A small comment in a long night. But to me, it was something else. Because he didn't just insult me. He defined me. Publicly. Confidently. Incorrectly. And that's where he made his mistake. Because what Hassan didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the company he was so proud of, the one he kept mentioning, the one he claimed to have built alone, didn't operate the way he thought it did. Not at the top. Not where decisions are actually made. Because ownership isn't always visible. And control rarely is. I stood up slowly. Adjusted my dress. Not in anger. Not to make a scene. Just to move. Because the night wasn't over. Not yet. And Hassan had just given me a reason to speak. Not loudly. Not emotionally. But precisely. Because when someone misjudges your value, you don't correct them with words. You let reality do it for you. And tonight, reality was about to arrive. I didn't go to the stage. Didn't interrupt. Didn't raise my voice. I simply walked toward the side of the hall, where the quieter conversations were happening. Because power doesn't rush. It waits. Near the far table stood Mr. Rahman, Hassan's lead investor, board member, someone he respected, or at least someone he listened to. He noticed me first. His posture changed instantly. Aisha, he said, stepping forward. I wasn't expecting you here. I was invited, I replied calmly. He gave a small, knowing smile. Of course you were. 2 other board members stood nearby. They followed his lead. "Good evening, Ms. Khan," one of them said respectfully. Not casual, not polite, professional, deliberate, and loud enough to be noticed. Hassan saw it. From the stage. Mid-conversation. His words slowed. Because something didn't match. The way they were speaking to me didn't fit the image he had just created. I turned slightly, facing them fully now. "How's the quarter looking?" I asked. Mr. Rahman exhaled lightly. "Better than expected," he said. "Your restructuring plan worked." A pause. Then he added, "Board is aligned." Aligned. That word mattered. Because alignment doesn't happen without authority. Behind us, a few guests had gone quiet, listening, trying to understand. Hassan stepped off the stage, walking toward us now. Slowly, controlled. But I could see it. The shift. Uncertainty. "What's going on?" he asked, forcing a smile. Mr. Rahman turned to him, then back to me. Waiting. Not answering. Because it wasn't his place. Not this time. Hassan looked at me, then at them, then back again. Confused. Annoyed. Trying to take control of a situation he didn't understand. "Aisha," he said, questioning now, not mocking. I held his gaze. "Calm. Steady. You should introduce us properly," I said. A pause. Small, but heavy. Because now, everyone around us was paying attention. And Hassan, for the first time that night, didn't have the right words. Because the version of me he presented, and the one standing here, didn't match. At all. Mr. Rahman broke the silence. Gentle, but clear. "She doesn't need an introduction," he said. Then looked directly at Hassan. "She chairs the board." Silence. Instant. Complete. Because some truths don't need explanation. They just need to be heard once. And in that moment, everything shifted. The music in the hall didn't stop. People kept smiling, talking, pretending. But something invisible had already changed. Hassan stood frozen. For the first time that night, he wasn't performing. "You what?" he finally asked. I didn't answer immediately. I simply took a slow step forward. Not toward the stage. Not toward the crowd. Toward him. Calm. Controlled. "I don't run your life, Hassan," I said softly. "I run the structure behind it." His jaw tightened. Around us, the board members stood silent. No one corrected me. No one interrupted. Because they couldn't. My mother looked between us, confused. My father lowered his gaze slowly, understanding too late. Hassan's voice dropped. "You let me speak to you like that?" I met his eyes. "No," I replied. "You assumed I was beneath you." A pause. Then I added, "That was your mistake." Silence swallowed the room. Not shock anymore. Respect. Fear. Understanding. I turned away first. Not angry. Not satisfied. Just done. Because real power doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself, only when necessary. Glowing star moral of the story. Never mistake silence for weakness. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one holding everything together and deciding when it falls.